Rach, some really good writing here, and there's lots to like about this, and that's the start of the challenge, I guess, and the main challenge is being able to write well and articulate your thoughts on paper, and that's something that you do really well. So my main feedback for you. For improvement in your next practice, and as we move towards the sack, is maybe just experiment with starting with a paragraph that just gets jumped straight into it, and starts engaging with the prompt immediately. So your first paragraph here just talks, a bit in general about, if we have nice thoughts, we have good memories of a place, but if we have bad experience in a place, and we have bad memories of a place, and so therefore memories can create a range of emotions when we remember a place, and it's really general. And so just have an experiment maybe with jumping straight into it. So you don't need that introductory paragraph as such. In fact, I would recommend that you jump straight into having something to say. So you might just begin. Your first few sentences might be something like, I remember as a child being terribly scared when such and such happened in such and such a place. Since then, I have always been, and you get straight into it, and that way you're saying the same things as your introductory kind of paragraph is saying here, but you're using your own experience to show that, and it just makes it a little bit less, I guess, boring to read. And because you've got to remember that at the end of the year, all we're doing here is preparing you for the end of the year, when you're going to be read by a number of examiners who read, a couple of hundred essays over the course of a few days, and yours has got to not kind of just fit the mold that everyone else is going to do. So that's one thing. Have a look at have a consider of how you start. The second thing is, I really think over the next few days, it'd be a good idea to use that sentence starter sheet, with 14 options from the 4 columns. There's 14 options in each of the 4 columns, just to really get you developing ideas fully. And the best example of that is your second paragraph when you talk about your house in Bermagui. Basically, the paragraph is essentially this. You're essentially saying, my family has a house in Bermagui. I've always had good memories there, and so therefore I always remember that place as a nice place to be. And that's essentially the whole paragraph. And I think, when we say, okay, we need a little bit more here, have something to say about it. If you use those sentence starters, you might say, you might give a specific memory, and as you choose something from the next column, and then you'll develop on that memory, and then you'll choose something from the next column, and you'll actually kind of conclude what that memory means to you. And in that way, you're saying something really rich there, rather than just kind of summarising, I have a good memory of a place, therefore every time I remember it, it's a nice place for me. So use the sentence starter sheet heaps over the next few weeks. And the last thing is, I just recommend having a minimum of 3 kind of discussion points in response to the prompt. This piece that you've written has, clearly has 2. You've got a Kinsella, what Kinsella says about the prompt. You've got your own memory of the prompt, and you've got a bit of a summarising paragraph coupled with an introductory paragraph. And I'm saying to you, maybe cancel the introductory paragraph, get straight into it, have something to say. Refer to Kinsella, have another paragraph where you want to make another point, whether it be another experience that you remember or another poem of Kinsella's that you can refer to, and then you might want to summarise it, with a final concluding paragraph, if that's the way you want to go about it. But I would try and have a minimum of 3 discussion points at least. So you're getting, so your essay or your sack is a little bit bulky and it's got some meat, and at the end of the day, you want to have something to say in response to the prompt, rather than just kind of, this is what Kinsella has to say, this is what I have to say at the end. Try and think of, a couple of discussion points that you could raise in answer to the prompt. So 3 main things to work on there, but I like it. Definitely on the right track.